C chord. Hello neighbors and welcome back to the teaching channel here. My name is Christopher Henry with Noya Mountain Music, and today we're going to be doing a fairly basic kind of beginner, maybe intermediate, more like beginner upper, beginner lower, intermediate level on arpeggios, what they are and how to practice them a little bit and how you can use them for improvising. Okay, so what is an arpeggio? This is an arpeggio. Alright, that's a sound you might have heard a lot. So there are many different kinds of arpeggios. What you really want to maintain in your mind is that this sound is the 1-3-5 arpeggio, major. Okay, what does the numbers mean? Oh my gosh, 1-3-5, what does that mean? It means it's the first note in the scale. In this case, it's a G note because we're in the key of G major. It's the third note in the scale, which is the fourth fret of the G. The fifth note in the scale, which is the open D, and then it starts over with the fifth fret of the D. Okay, so that is your first octave of a G major arpeggio. 1-3-5-1. Those are not the frets. The frets are open. Fourth fret of the G, open D. Fifth fret of the D. If you haven't got that, work it out. We're going to get a little bit more advanced here, but this is just explaining it so people who've never heard arpeggio or played it before, they can, get a little hang going here. Okay, so continuing up in the next octave. All right, sounds like this. So we're left off on the fifth fret of the D. Then it goes to the second fret of the A. Your first finger, ring finger on the fifth fret of the A. And then the top G note is the third fret of the E. All right, so that's your whole arpeggio, 2 octaves. 1-3-5, 1-3-5-1. Those are not the frets. Those are the scale intervals. So like, when you go do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, those are 8 different notes, 7 different notes really, and then the 8th one's the same as the first one. That makes the octave. All right, this is going to get a little bit more advanced, but we're just trying to get the folks who are new at this up to speed here. Okay, so you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 notes in the scale. The 8 is the same as a 1. Okay, it's the same note. That's a G. And you go do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 is the same as a 1. Is the same as a 8. Is the same as a 1. Okay, then for the arpeggio, you got the 1, the 3, the 5, and the 8, which is the same as a 1. So 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1. And coming down the same way, you got, well, it's backwards, So you got 1, the 5, the 3, the 1, the 5, the 3, and the 1. Okay, so you can play that whole thing in a row. You can also reach out for the high major third with the little finger extension on the 7th fret of the E. And, here's some Monroe stuff. That old tune from back in the 40s. Oh, I'm thinking of you, little darling. Gotta sing a little bit flat to make it cool. Someday when you're lonely. Okay, so he departed drastically away from the melody and was doing improv on the arpeggios. Little blues, little syncopation, but on the way up, it's just an arpeggio. Okay. So it's good to be able to do the arpeggios easily without thinking about it. You just like hit the button. It can be nice to tag your scales with arpeggios. Whatever you do, A scale. You got a little north of the high major third there, but you get the idea. Okay, so going on from here, you can use your arpeggios just right out of the old 3-finger chord, and you can do like little improvs with it, And you can do something like this, like say, one of our favorite teaching tunes is the old Blue Ridge Cabin Home, 1-4-5-1 progression, all day long. Everybody knows it, everybody loves it. Not everybody loves it, I love it. I'm from Virginia too. Well, I'm really from Florida, but I grew up in Virginia. And now I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. And now's a good time for a little advertisement. If you're liking this, we would appreciate your support. Please like and subscribe. And go ahead and hit that little bell there for the notifications, and you'll get all the good stuff from Noya Mountain Music. Thank you. And please consider becoming a patron on patreon.com/Noya Mountain Music. Okay, thank you. All right, so it's good to be able to do this kind of thing. This is a very beginner-ish, solid beginner improv kind of idea. All right, so if you know the chord progression And this is why it's so absolutely essentially critical to develop the skill of being able to hear chord changes, okay? Let me say that again. It is absolutely essentially critical to develop the paramount skill of being able to hear chord changes. And that can start by learning how to read the guitar chords, you know, the G chord, C chord, and the D chord, and just make sure you know where your cat is. If you don't know where your cat is, then you should figure out where your cat is, unless you're just absolutely confident that she or he or they, if they prefer that, if you're absolutely sure that they're going to come back. You know, in this case, Cat Kitty's on the move right here. There she goes. She's a little huntress out in the wild here today. We like to call her Jungle Kitty sometimes. We're really moving through this is not your normal typical, manual instruction video. We got Cat Kitty up here. What do you think, Cat Kitty? You tell them hi? She's a Bengal, and she's 5 generations away from her leopard. And she likes to go outside, she likes to do a little hunting. She likes to do her thing, just like we all like to do our things. And I gotta keep an eye on her, even when I'm making the old mandolin videos. Still gotta keep an eye on the little kitty cat here. Okay, so Blue Ridge Cabin Home. Rinse and repeat, same thing. 1 1 1 1 1 1 4 4 4 4 up to 5 5 5 and back to 1 2 3 4. Okay, 4 beats of G, 4 beats of C, 4 beats of D, 4 beats of G, rinse and repeat. That's if you're counting where the bass plays as the quarter note, like 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Some people count the and, which was where the mandolin chops. You know, they count that as a beat. It's like 1 2 3 4 2 2 3 4 3 2 3 2. I don't do that. I count the strong beats. Okay, so just so you know, it's where the bass plays. 1 2 3 4. Okay, so you have 4 beats of G, 4 beats of C, 4 beats of D, 4 beats of G, and you start over. Okay, so if you're going to count that out with 16th notes, it would be like this. 1, and we're doing arpeggio. Okay, so we're doing a little shuffle. That is a shuffle on the 5th fret of the D. That's a shuffle. Down, down, up. 1/8 note, 2 16th notes. All right, and you continue with 8th notes up the arpeggio. So it's like this: 1 and a 2 and 3 and 4. And this is one of the most useful kind of training wheels improv exercises that you can do. And guess what you do? You just copy and paste that over the 4 chord and over the 5 chord and over the 1 chord again, and you got a little break you can play. And then guess what? You can mirror it. It's so cool. It's so cool. It's pretty cool. All right. So yeah. So G chord, C chord, D chord, G. Okay. If you don't want to do that again, you can go the other way. Check it out. It's the same thing, except it's just backwards, okay? So you start on the 3rd fret of the E, your top G note. 1 and a 2 and 3 and 4, and it's exactly mirrored backwards too. There you're starting on the low note, 5th fret of the D, and you're ending on the low note. Here you're starting on the 3rd fret of the E and ending on the 3rd fret of the E. You're descending through the major G arpeggio. Do that same thing in your 3-chord C. 3-finger C chord. Same thing in D, and then back to G. Okay, then you can start to mix and match. Whoa, it's getting so complex now, but not really. You know, you just go up the arpeggio in G, and then down the arpeggio in C. Check on your cat, and then you go up the arpeggio in D, and then down the arpeggio in G. Okay, all right, and so maybe like reverse that the next time. You start going down, and go up in C, down in D, and then up in G. Okay, so that is like a little training wheels exercise that I would encourage you to do with all the bluegrass tunes, like all the simple ones, like split bar ones, and even, you know, like Love's Like a Flower is another super common chord form, which is like, let's just do it in A for fun. Hey, they tell me your love's like a D, 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 A, 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 E, 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 A, 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 D, 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 and the split bar A, A, E, back to A, 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 A. Okay, so you do the same thing. It doesn't go in a circle like 1 4 5. It goes 1 4 1 5, and then 1 4 1. Then you have the split bar 1 5, and then 1 at the end. Hopefully, you can kind of like follow the flow here. Okay, we're having fun here today. It's a nice day in October. It's not even October, it's November. I had jury duty today, so my mind's a little bit, woo-hoo. I can't talk about it though until the case is closed. All right. So just do that same thing in the Love is Like a Flower chord progression, all right? So they tell me your love is like a flower in the springtime blossom so fair. In the fall when it withers away, dear. And they gotta do a split bar. Ooh, getting so fancy now. We're splitting this little arpeggio training wheels thing. That's a little training wheel split bar exercise. You're doing 2 beats in the 1 chord, which is A. 1 and a 2, and then 2 beats, the 3 and the 4 beats of that split bar in E. 3 and a 4, and then back to your full whole 1 bar. Okay, you can also do the whole mirroring thing. You can start it from the bottom in A, and then do coming from the top down in E. Hopefully you're getting the idea. It's just being able to do a little, and this is just the basic, super simple place to start, All these arpeggio notes work with each other, so you don't have to start here. You can start here, you can start there, you can put a 7th in, ooh, getting fancy, woo, you get blues note, all this kind of stuff. But just to get to know the arpeggio and the sound of the highway, the mandolin highway, that is, that's going to get you going towards the improvising, and then you can get into the the more advanced. Monroe style devices. That's an arpeggio. That's a staggered arpeggio. We're not talking about that here today. We're talking about little simple arpeggios. So you got to get the split bar too. So with on and on, I'm driving down the C back to G. You got to be able to do split bar, little arpeggio thing. So you play 2 beats in C, 2 beats in G. Okay, so you don't have to be necessarily confined to just the 3-finger chord, but it's really easy. It's a nice place to start. You can do little walk downs, all that kind of stuff. We're just making it real easy playing out of the chord. It's so easy to play out of the chord once you get to be where you can do it easily. Not to be from the department of redundancy department, but you get what I'm saying. This is a good exercise that you have to kind of be able to do as a very competent, upper beginner, lower intermediate. If you can't do this with relative ease and you really want to work on it, it's a pretty basic skill that will help you learn to improvise. Okay, so the next step, we're not going to talk too awful long here today because we got cats to watch and all this kind of stuff. We have wives to pick up from the airport. We'll just meet. I don't have one wife. That's plenty. From the airport. Okay, I might need to take a nap too because I'm a little tired from jury duty. Did I talk about that already? I think I did. Okay, just trying to have a little fun here today. And so you want to be able to switch and swap your melody, okay? So you play your first bar in G. Oh, there goes the cat. Gotta make this quick. Of Blue Ridge Cabin Home with your melody. Oh, I love those hills of over. Then hit your arpeggio and C. You gotta know where to come back to your melody in G. Oh, I love those hills of old Virginia. In those Blue Ridge hills I did roam. That's a little boogie woogie. We haven't even done that. We're just talking about switching and swapping the melody. So you play your arpeggio thing over the C chord. Oh, I love those hills of old Virginia. In those Blue Ridge hills I did roam. And you can play the arpeggio over the G and then get into the melody on the C. When I die, won't you bury me on the mountain, far away near my Blue Ridge Cabin home. That's a little fancy. We haven't covered that one yet. I gotta make sure the cat. But anyway, do the same thing with Love is Like a Flower in A. Oh, they tell me your love's like a flower in the springtime blossom so fair. In the fall when it withers away, dear. go find the cat. Hopefully you learned something from this video. If you'd like to support the channel, please consider becoming a Neue Mountain Music patron. And we'll catch you on the next one. Adios. Please like and subscribe. Go ahead and hit that little bell there for the notifications. You'll get all the good stuff from Neue Mountain Music. Thank you.